Good morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner. It is Thursday the 14th of December, the day after some interesting Fed announcement last night about rate cuts and maybe not rate cuts and what do we have. And that actually propelled the US market much higher and eventually also the European market much higher this morning. We have the S&P 500 at about 4,700 and very close to the 4,800 target here at 138.2 projection of this correction here, and it is just shy of 48.18 all-time highs here back from January last year. So it seems like that's where we are going. I had a target of 48.34 in early January. We could potentially reach that earlier. There's some euphoria in the market at the moment, so really strong market, and there's no divergence on the RSI indicating we are likely to see higher levels on the S&P 500. Nasdaq 100, of course, also moved higher. And as we can see here, after this little correction it had here, it's almost reached 200% of it, 2.0 projecting at 16,637. So also moving towards the all-time highs there, just below 16,765, and that could also be reached fairly soon. So it's been the longest Santa Claus rally that I have ever witnessed, I would say. The European market also higher here. We have the EUROSTOXX 50, and it is already at an all-time high. It has been for quite a few days. But as you can see here, the RSI really stressed. We are above 80, and remember, it can only go to 100, and it never touches 100 anyway. So that's almost impossible. But again, we are in an uptrend, and the trend is your friend. And I still don't have a top and reversal pattern in place. It did start the other day forming something that could have turned into it, but it didn't really. So we are moving higher here. And also towards year ends, expect bullish market on the European stocks. Higher jump in the DAX, just touching the 17,000, and I think maybe we could see a little bit of a correction here now. If it does close the gap from today, then we will have the correction ongoing. We are extremely stretched. I mean, we are above 85 on the RSI. I have never seen this, and I look back decades to find any such circumstance, and I haven't seen it. So really stretched. But we can still move higher after a possibly minor correction on DAX also. But again, I wouldn't go short if it was me. It is not a recommendation, but I wouldn't go short if it was me at these prices. I want to see how things are developing. I still want to see a top and reversal, and I haven't seen that. And until then, I would stay long. AX Amsterdam above 795, currently taking out the July peak here. The July peak here. The July peak here is testing very close to testing 802.50, and we are still well below the all-time highs at 829, 830. I think we could test these 800 here fairly shortly. We are very close to, but again, a really strong gap higher on this side here, and we are a very strong move towards higher levels. Also on the Belgian market, we have. It did test for the past 2 days, the 37.28, got rejected, and it will start looking like maybe a correction. But it's this morning jumping higher, of course, above the resistance here, and now we are looking at 38.23. That it could be tested here in the next couple of days. Again, here also Belgian market very stretched. The CAC 40 also jumping higher. And let's see, it's at all-time highs. It's taking out the previous peak here, or previous all-time here earlier this year, also with a massive jump. Next couple of days could be very interesting in terms of this gap here. Is it an exhaustion gap, or is it a continuation gap? So that's really something to keep an eye on. and also the Swiss market that has been lagging for in the beginning. It doesn't look like it, but it actually did lag, and we are still well below its all-time high. But 11,400 is the next one if it can stay above the 11,244 level there. As you can see, the Swiss market is lagging the others, so we are nowhere near the all-time highs on there, but still in an uptrend. Also, massive move in euro dollar here on the daily chart. We could see how it bounced off the 107.30 level, 32. Went straight through the resistance at 108.25 and up to the 61.8 retracement at 109 and a change. And it seems to be continuing earlier today. I think we will see a euro dollar testing 110, the previous peak here from earlier this month, or sorry, that was November, at 110, and possibly also taking out. There should be room up to 111.30 here in coming weeks, and of course the entire picture will be demolished if we break below 107.30. Cable also higher, and seems on track to test the 127.45 resistance area, very strong resistance and key resistance, so keep an eye on that one. We have the 55 moving average coming up, we have the 200 coming up, we have the RSI breaking its falling trend line, and currently back above 60, so there is potential to higher levels. Dollar yen testing key support at 141.55 this morning, did spike below. It will be key. Where will we end later today and this week? But we are in a downtrend, but there's some divergence maybe building up a little bit, so keep an eye on that one, and keep an eye on where we will close on the dollar yen later today and tomorrow. Euro yen didn't take out the low and the support at 153 here this morning, and that is also something you should keep an eye on, and very interesting. 200 moving average still above that, did spike below, so maybe we could get a little bit of counter move here and get back above 155, 50, 53 level, and that should be your concern there if you're short, of course, because then we can see it slowly crawling higher towards 157. But it's a little bit on a limbo, but in a strong support area right there. Aussie yen still above the lower rising trend line here, 94.90 currently, testing a little bit. We could see a sell-off down to, but I'm not quite sure. I think we will be caught range-bound trading here for the next few days, with a little bit of heavy side. But keep an eye on this rising trend line here. Can it actually break it below it? If it does, well, then the 93.58 support could be under threat. Let's have a look at Aussie dollar this morning. That also moved higher in the late trading and early trading this morning towards the 69 level. Strong resistance up there, and I think we will see that. And also, if we add the Fibonacci retracement to that, well, then we are very close to it in the coming weeks, I believe. But of course, the entire picture could be demolished if we break below 65.20. However, we have the 55 moving average coming up. We have bullish on the RSI, so it really looks quite interesting there too. Also, another one that is dollar Swiss. I haven't spoken much about it, but it's testing the support area at 86.90 once again. I want to close below before I actually see a move towards 85. But as we can see here, we actually have the RSI that is showing divergence. So that's something that you should keep an eye on if you're trading dollar Swiss. Dollar index took out the 103.22, minor support back below the falling trend line there. We are back in bearish trading. We are back in bearish trend. Testing the next minor support here at 102.38. I think we could see the dollar index moving down to 101.62 key support here, possibly dipping a little bit lower. Gold was on fire last night and continuing this morning. after being rejected at the 1975 support. It dipped just a few dollars below, but it bounced very strongly. RSI broke above its falling trend line. We talked about this yesterday, that it actually was on the way out of it and above it, and we are very close to getting the RSI back above 60. There's no divergence on the peaks here. That is indicating we could see higher levels on gold, and I think we will see a move up to around the 2070, 2075, possibly 2100 here in the coming days and weeks. Fairly strong. Currently we are at the 2033, which is the 38.2 retracement. So we are resuming uptrend, and all signals are pointing higher. You can also see here all the moving averages are pointing higher. So very strong move there in gold that supports the bullish view. Also silver, after selling off early session yesterday, actually below the support at 22.75, it bounced also very strongly, almost 4% yesterday, and following through today. And I think we will see silver moving towards 24.60 level here in the coming days. Copper also a little bit higher, back above the 382, and there should be potential now to the 400. And if we also do a little bit of a Fibonacci here to see where we end, well, then we are looking at 138.2, which is just above 400. So fairly strong indicators there. The oil markets bouncing off. Here we have the Brent bouncing off the $72 a little bit, and then as you can read in my update yesterday, we could see a little bit of short-term bounce on the crude oils. We are in this consolidation area here that goes back to earlier this year. We can see it here on the weekly chart, really strong, and also back above the 200 weekly moving average. So also something to keep an eye on. We are in a negative sentiment, however, so we are not going into a bullish mode anytime soon. Finally, let's talk about the US 10-year, of course. US 10-year Treasury yields dropped below 4%, finding a little bit of support, trying to find some support here at 395, but currently below, and we could dip down to a 383, stronger support area. There's in this kind of consolidation area here around between 375 and 390. What is also interesting, if we look at the, let's have a look at the, where is it? There we are, the future that spiked higher above the resistance at 111.12 and also above 112, and it could be on the move to 113 where we have some strong resistance, and then we should see a little bit of a setback. All right, that's a long one for today, but there was also a lot of stuff to talk about. I wish you a happy day and happy trading.